Oh,
Hello, hello.
oh, Harry.
Hey.
Yay. Wow.
Oh, my friend Fathom joined.
Oh, you want me to
Damn,
cut it out?
kick Fathom out. Kick Cat Fathom to the curb.
All right. Well, mine is staying. Mike O'Neill in the house. Mike McQuinlan. Hello. Like your new background.
Well, thank you.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I like it.
Yeah.
Mike O'Neill, do you need your note taker here? Do you want it to stay?
Mike O'Neill.
Hey, Harry, if
This
I've
is
got
a
a note
handsome
taker,
fellow.
it's not electronic. It's somebody on the side writing notes fast. So I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Charley.
Hey, there he is.
Hey,
Hi.
Charley.
Hey, looking good in blue today. ILENE, how are you?
I
Great
knew
to see you.
Mike was going to show up in blue, so I had to at least keep pace with Mike.
Well, and Harry too. Wow.
Yeah.
What's this? Chopped liver? Chopped liver blue?
There you go.
Dr. B in the house. If you've noticed
Hey,
something
Dr.
about
B.
me, I wear white in the summer and black in the winter. It's very strange. I'm very routine oriented. I only have I only have 100 t-shirts.
You don't
So-
have a lot of choices to make then.
No,
Yeah.
Clothes.
perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's good.
Yeah.
Hi,
Close.
Denise. Welcome.
Thank you.
Dr.
Hi,
B in the house, kick-ass coaching. Chris
I
Kinney.
do the gentle butt kick.
Oh. Charley, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it.
Well, I hope you're ready for some excitement today. We're going to jump right in. It's 4:01 if you're late. Denise, can I make you co-host and you let the rest of the people in?
What-
Absolutely.
Denise, what are you eating?
I'm having a piece of Dave's Killer Bread with a little bit of peanut butter.
There you go. Great mix. Dave's Killer's a killer.
She's
Dave's
so
Killer's a
healthy.
killer.
Dr. Dorothy in the house. Jeff Goldberg, I'm honored, my friend. Welcome. All right, let's jump in and get this party started. Since everybody knows me here, there's no boring
Right.
introduction or about me, except this thing that I am proposing to you today is what I have done for myself in the last 2 years. And the results of it have been exponential. Not even, I can't even describe to you how much more money, how much more time I have, how much more time I'm spending with my family because of upgrading not only my personal energy with Dr. Dorothy's help, but my products, my services, just the overall way that I serve my clients. And I'm going to give you all the juicy details of it today. So first and foremost, I want to ask a question, and you'll notice I typically start off lots of these things with a question for you to think about. What does it mean for you if you upgrade your products, your pricing, and the network of people that you sell it to? What does it mean for you in your business? And you can raise your hand if you want to share or put it in the chat. I don't care either way. But what is really possible if you do this? Go ahead, Hank.
Well, to me, it means moving into a new circle of the ability to do business, because as you've seen, I've been dealing recently with the fact that I've come to the realization that what I do largely isn't scalable because it takes too much of my own personal time. So for me, it means entering into doing business on a whole different level.
Yeah. And that's really what it meant for me too. I knew that by charging more, my clients, and I'm going to give you an awesome example of this, but by charging more, my clients would be, one, more invested in what we're doing. They would also value the homework I was giving them at a different level. And they would also value their own transformation more, which is really powerful. Dr. Dorothy.
What I would say as well is that when you bring in higher end clients, it forces you to grow, to know that you have that much more to offer them. So it's one great way of causing you to up level who you are and what you offer, but also how to up level what you present.
Yes.
You know, that the man or woman you walk onto the stage with, you know, virtually or in reality, physical reality, that you walk differently. And you keep growing, you keep expanding. So to me, it's a great way to force myself to grow, to catch up to. And another point, what I have found in referrals that I get from higher end people expecting a top-notch coach, they're sending me top-notch clients. And we're back into word of mouth is what does it. So those clients have friends.
Yeah.
And those clients' friends now expect you to charge them what you're charging this new higher price client. So it becomes this upward spiral.
Yes. Beautiful spiral. It is. So really, it makes your business more unforgettable. It makes it more valuable. And I will say that for me, the ideas I have for creating programs and products and offers, I used to believe I had to do all of those ideas. And as soon as I realized that all of those ideas were not for me, but other people needed them, other people needed those ideas, something magical happened, because the conversations I was having were more about ideas rather than me selling my products and services. And when you talk about ideas with people, it not only motivates them, encourages them, inspires them, and they end up asking you, how do I work with you? I don't have to sell a thing, which is, that's the lane I want to play in, because it's more fun for me when that happens. Who can agree with that? Yes.
Also,
great to see you.
Yeah. Also, what I discovered yesterday, some very high-end client contacted me and said, I read your bio on LinkedIn. I know I want to work with you. When can we speak? Now, I just changed it recently. So I just point that out there as, what does your bio say about you? You know, I had to go look and say, my God, what did I write? That I'm glad it worked, but what did I say?
Yeah.
You know, that down to the written, what are we putting out there?
Yeah. And I would also say, I got contacted a couple days ago about a testimonial that somebody wrote for me on LinkedIn. So she knew that person that wrote the testimonial, and she reached out to me and said, I loved what so-and-so said about you. I went to him and asked him for an introduction to you, and noticed we were already connected. When can we talk? So that in itself, if you're not using testimonials or, you know, the proper bio or how you see yourself, is really important. Okay, so let me tell you the reasons to enhance your offers and how it might look to do that. So number one, you can up level your offers in 15 different ways. I'm going to rattle them off. And for anybody who is here, you're going to get these in an email from me. So don't worry about scribbling notes.
Thank you.
Just have fun and pay attention. You can upgrade your products and services by utility, which means the function of what they do. So you can add to the utility of your products and services. Let's use Mike McQuinlan as an example. He teaches speakers how to speak more powerfully, have a better talk, be a better public speaker, and he focuses in the fitness industry for his certain reasons. And he can increase the utility by providing a script for his clients after he works with them. Say, I'll create your first, talk for you. So he can add utility. You can also up the quality of what you offer. That can look like more time with you, bringing in other coaches, bringing in other people, adding assets to your program or your service. Scarcity. Look, this is huge. This has been huge for me. When I decided that I was a one-on-one coach, that everyone gets one-on-one time with me, even if you're in a group, I can't serve as many people. And when this of numbers goes down, the quality goes up, and so does the price. Your brand reputation. Are people talking about you in rooms you're not in? If they're not, that's a whole nother workshop. We can talk about how to get that happening. Then perceived availability. That goes to that scarcity model. But if people get access to you or they don't, that affects the price. Social proof, testimonials, like I just said. Cultural and emotional significance. Are you bonding emotionally with your ideal clients? That ups the value. Any of us can go to LinkedIn or Udemy or Masterclass and buy a class and do an anonymous workshop with somebody. But that personal and emotional significance, that connection to the person you're working with, that ups the value of what you do. All right. Number 10, emotion leads to innovation. So if you're emotionally connected with people, energetically connected with your clients, that leads to more innovation. Your clients are going to get better results. They're going to have better self-esteem, more self-confidence. Ease of use. How easy is it to reach out to you? How easy is it to get on a call with you, find your website, search you online? Ease of use, user-friendly, very important. Availability after the sale. Once you make a sale, somebody clicks buy or they say they want to work with you, how quick do they have that first experience with you? That's another key factor that ups the price. Somebody signs up to work with me, we are immediately scheduling your first month of appointments and then a recurring time for as long as our engagement is. The last one, external economic factors, meaning what is the going rate for any of your products or services. If you haven't done your market research, this is huge. And I don't mean for comparison purposes. Your homework from this, if you haven't done market evaluation, is to find 3 people who do what you do like you do it. I found one guy who does pretty much exactly what I do, but not in a 3-month package. He does it in a 3-day package and charges quadruple. And right away, I mentioned to Jason, who's here, I said, Jason, oh my God, I found this guy who does exactly what I do with my clients in 3 months, but he brings a team of people together and does it in 3 days live in person. How cool would that be? And how do I do it? And we talked about it for like an hour because he happened to know the ins and outs of this person and program. And having people like that to brainstorm things like that with is priceless. So if there's people in this room that you don't know that you want to get connected with, use this opportunity, put your contact information in the chat and connect with some awesome people. Any of my events, there's networking involved, there's connecting involved. And that, well, Jason, thank you so much for brainstorming that with me. And I immediately saw, because of finding that person and seeing his offer, how it was unique and different from mine. Can you see the difference? My 3-month program is a year worth of coaching in 3 months. He took that 3 months and turned it into 3 days. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do that. I got to have that. I want to be that. That's the type of coach I want to be, action oriented. And when you decide that, you can set yourself apart in the marketplace. And that's really, really cool. So how to do that market research? Find 3 people who do what you do at the highest level, the most expensive coach in the world, the most expensive coach in the United States. What's their program look like? What does their offer look like? Steve Hardison, one of the most incredible coaches in the United States, doesn't have a program, doesn't have an offer. You pay one price, you get to spend time with him, you create what you decide. That was inspirational for me. So find those people for you. And I recommend doing 3 of those and comparing your offers, not in an envy, jealousy way. This is market research. What are they offering? What am I offering? What's the same? What's different? What makes theirs $10,000 and mine only 300? And why am I only charging 300? This is ridiculous, right? That's the place I want you to get to. I'm going to stop there because I'm getting super excited and super passionate about this. Who has questions or insights, or what do you want to share?
I had a question, Suzanne,
Sure.
about packaging and pricing. Now, when I started on this journey, I was so hung up on a $50 product that I was trying to send out to the world. I said, you know, even here in Peru, $50 doesn't go very far. How much of a price range do you deal with? As it is now, my lowest ticket item is a third of my high ticket item. Do you have a range of?
Well, I have a suggestion. If you're not to the income you want in your business, have one product and have it be your most expensive. Don't sell anything else than your most expensive thing. Your highest end offer, whether it's 1,000 or 3,000, whatever it is, focus on selling that, because what will happen every single time until you're really experienced and really good at this, you will default to the cheapest item on your list. And it's just human psychology. You think it's easier to sell something for $47 rather than $4,700.
Actually, no, it isn't.
And I know, but you only learn that by doing it and making that mistake. So, you know, if you're going to sell a $50 product and hope that it leads somebody to buying your most expensive product, I would argue that that works 50% of the time. 50%. And I'm going to just say that the ascension model that's been taught online for years, start at free, then go 27, 47, 97, 297. How long does it take to get somebody to your $2,000 or $3,000, $5,000 product? That's a long customer journey. So I suggest to all of my clients flipping that to an anti-ascension model, to start with your $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 and go for those clients, meet those people, and those clients, when they're finished working with you, they become your monthly membership clients. Does that help, Mike?
It definitely does. What I'm saying is, with my free, my high end is specific to people who own a gym or a fitness center, where I do custom workshops in your gym. So if you don't own a gym, I don't even fidget.
Right.
So that makes sense to get rid of the $50 module.
Yeah.
Ask nicely, and I'll tell you about it. But it's...
Well, I hope you're following and commenting on everything Alex Hermosi does, because he's the man he makes over gyms. That's how he got started. If you haven't heard his story, go listen to that and compare what you're doing to some of his products and services.
Right,
Steve,
thanks.
you got your hand up.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hi.
I was just curious on the workshop thing, and I'm thinking about this more from an impact standpoint than an income standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
because being a coach myself and also being a veteran of seminars and workshops and personal development, and I haven't been to Tony Robbins, I will admit that, but I can't imagine, like if I was in your program, I can't imagine getting more out of 3 days than over a 3-month period with you. And so I don't know if this is just personal preference, if this is just a fun business model, you can make more money, you can bring in more, obviously more people because it's not one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
But I myself, I would choose 3 months over, even in a group coaching program, I would choose 3 months over 3 days with loudspeakers and glitter and, dancers and whatever at a 3-day seminar. Just curious on your thoughts about that.
Yeah, so it would be 3 days with me by yourself, or maybe 2 or 3 other people.
Okay.
Yeah, and very hands-on, creating and doing. You have your computer, I have mine, and very collaborative and interactive. That excites me about being with somebody for that intensive of a period. Absolutely do it over 3 months. That's fun. That's a group of people and one-on-one. But 3 days with somebody who really wants to take that action and get done faster, that's exciting for me as a coach.
Right. Okay.
And it could be something different for you, right? So you heard how it got me jazzed up to think about doing that. I have a perfect place to do it and invite people to, where they can stay overnight and come to this amazing, so that for me is exciting for me. So I know it's easier to sell when I'm excited about it. So find what that is for you and dump massive value into it.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah, Steve, I think I know where your head's at, Steve, is like on the Tony Robbins 3-day thing. That's a different animal than like what Suzanne's like. This is like an actual, you're going to walk away with these assets that you're going to create together for your business. Not like, it's not learning 3 day, right? It's like this actual creation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking more seminar versus a, retreat type of situation where you have a smaller group and really intense, one-on-one type of interaction.
Awesome. Gordon.
To Steve's point, I think, and I've been to Tony, I don't know, half a dozen times, but again, different animal, first of all.
Yes.
Secondly, it doesn't matter whether you're doing 3 days, 1 day, half a day, 6 months, a year. If the client doesn't do anything with the information, it really doesn't matter how much time you spent with them, first of all.
Right.
So it comes up to what are they prepared to do? Where are they prepared? At what level are they prepared to plug in? But the other thing that my first comment was about, it took me a while to figure out as a coach, they're not paying for me. The dollars and cents have nothing to do with me. They're not paying for my time. They're not paying for my education or for what I know. It has nothing to do with me as a coach. And so it made it, I see coaches all the time, including myself for a long time, struggling to set up a fee structure when I thought, well, I can't possibly charge the amount that I want to charge. And so they get stuck charging because we want to help everybody, $150, $200, $250, but they wonder why people won't do their homework or why they ghost them. Mm-hmm. Once you're charging, it's not what you're worth. What you're charging is what they're looking for, the transformation, right? They're looking for the result. That's what they're paying for. And I look at Tony, he's got a waiting list. He can't get to everybody fast enough, and he charges $250,000 for half an hour. So it is that because of what they know is that if I spend that $250,000, mm-hmm. what that's going to do for me, what kind of result if I implement it, it'll make millions and millions and millions. It'll improve my life. It'll improve the quality of my life. It'll improve all these other things. But we have this, as coaches, sometimes we get this mindset, hey, they're paying for me, and they're not. It has nothing to do with us.
Correct. I love that, Gordon. Thank you for sharing that, because it really is about that A to B transformation. If it takes a year, or if it takes 3 months, or if it takes 3 minutes, it's still worth the same amount of money. Same amount. Steve, do you have your hand up again, or is that from last time? Oh, you're on mute.
Steve.
It was from last time. Sorry,
Okay.
I was just walking over some hot coals watching a Tony Robbins
awesome.
video.
I did not recommend that, but I'm impressed that you're doing that. Mike O'Neill.
When you said put your contact information up there, I was so proud of myself. I went over to LinkedIn, grabbed my link, and I plugged it in. And I realized that I don't know ILENE, but mine was 1 line. Hers is 20. If I go to 20 lines, can I charge 20 times what I'm charging now?
Hell yes.
Okay. Guess what? Next time that happens, expect a long response.
I like that. So Mike, if you don't have your chat saved somewhere to cut and paste, like I know ILENE does, because she probably teaches her clients to do that. And if you haven't connected with her content on LinkedIn is awesome. All right. So now we're going to go to the reason why you want to upgrade and what it does when you upgrade your offer and you upgrade your pricing. I'm going to tell you what happens to the people that you're hanging out with. You immediately get an upgrade. And I'm going to use this example of the first time I ran my 3-month accelerator. I decided on a price for the 3 months of $3,500. And I made an offer for the beta test of this group for it to be $1,500. Now, some of my existing clients got it for free, and I gave it to my assistant at the time for free. Now, the 2 people I gave it to for free did not do any of the work. They did not show up after the first 1 or 2 times, and we were meeting every week. They did not bring any value, any input, any questions, any insights to the group when they did show up. And at the end of the 3 months, I was upset because they didn't get the results that I wanted them to get. And here's the thing. I wanted to get them the results. I wanted them to do the work. I saw their success more than they did and gave 2 people something for free who were not ready to do the work. And I know each of you in this room has given something for free, and you have had the person ghost you, not show up, not do the work, not give a testimonial, not refer anyone to you either. So I decided the next round of the accelerator, no free, nobody. The price was $3,500, and I increased some of the bonuses with it. So that round, 12 people all got incredible results. That wasn't just because the price went up. It was because I increased the value of the program with some assets, some special appearances, some other things, and the value they gave to each other because of the quality of the people that were in the room. This was a really important distinction. So I want you to get out a pen if you don't have one already, and I want you to write down the name of your favorite client ever. Favorite client ever. And what qualities did they have? How much did they invest with you? How did they show up for every time they spent with you? What kind of testimonial did they give? Like, really get into it. And when I discovered that my person was a male over 50, former athlete or current athlete, weekend warrior, spiritual or very goes to church every Sunday, very family focused, slightly self-deprecating, fun to work with. I sat down and I was like, huh, I have like 20 of those people in my network that I've never even asked if they wanted to work with me. So this is really, really cool when you dive into that higher level person that you had a great time working with in the past. All of a sudden, other people like that are more apparent to you. Has anybody seen that happen for themselves when you finally recognize? I know Gordon works with a lot of professional athletes, and one leads to another, leads to another, leads to working with a team. Right, Gordon?
Absolutely. Well, and you know what? I never had any of those people ghost me. I never had any of them not do their homework. I never, like, they were paying six figures, some of them, and for 6 months of contact. And they never, ever, 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 ever didn't do their homework. When I'm talking to, I call them regular people, right? Non-athlete type people. I love working with athletes because they already understand discipline at a high level. They already understand coaching and mentorship. They already understand the parameters of all that. But regular people sometimes have to be convinced. So I've probably said no to more people than I've taken on because of that when the onboarding process, because I want them to be able to succeed. If they're not going to do the work. But yeah, what I'm finding is the more they pay, the more of their attention you have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Anybody else want to share anything about their ideal person and what you notice?
I had a question about this, Suzanne.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Now,
And
I
then
think
Hank will let you go.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see a hand. Oh, I was saying, does it have to be ideal client in the Biz Boomer? Does it have to be the ideal client within the same business we're doing now, or maybe other things we've done in the past? So I think about people I worked with in fitness, and it was more of a, I don't know, an archetype of who my best client was, where now they're all over the place. Should I go based on what I'm doing now, or when I had clients who were little?
Well, it definitely should be based on what you're doing now, but it could have input from where you were in the past. When I think about my coaching journey, I started as health, fitness, and a lot of what I did was in the gym. My clients walked in and they hired me, and that was easy. It's different than the online space. But I will say a lot of the qualities of the people I enjoyed working with then are the same as now. People are people. It doesn't matter in what capacity you're working with them, right? It's those socio-emotional demographics, not necessarily what they do for a living. For me, I want to work with a certain type of person. Doesn't matter what they do. I can help any business owner, but I don't go out there in the marketplace and say any business owner. So it's those emotional connections for me that have to happen. And that's why my clients stay sometimes for 2 and 3 years, because we're emotionally vested in our journey together. And it depends on your business model, of course, but people qualities, when you start realizing who you are at a really deep level, you start attracting people like that to you. So, Mike, absolutely use those people that you really enjoyed spending time with, and bonus, they're paying you, and weave that into what you're doing now, if that makes sense. Hank, what were you going to say?
Okay, it was just bouncing off of something that you said about the quality of the people who come, and what Gordon said about the people who are really paying very well. And it flashed me back to something I heard from Dean Graziosi. We have people that we consider kind of favorites. I've not ever been to one of his seminars, but I just like his vibe.
Yeah.
Tony, I don't resonate with Tony's vibe so much, but Dean one day said, and it's a blinding flash of the obvious. I've been having a lot of those lately, but Dean said, people who pay attention.
Mhm.
Simple as that. And I had the same experience you had. I've given people free memberships to a community, and they come for a few times and they're enthusiastic, but then the value of it to them basically is what you made it, which was zero.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes. And I have, let's see, 4 communities that I participate in. One of those communities is $558 a month. Now, that community involves workshops, coaching, learning, a Facebook group, and some mastermind things. It encompasses about 12 to 15 hours a month of my time and 3 consecutive days every quarter. And for me, the value of that community, $558 a month, sounds like a lot for a community, but what I am receiving to me is worth thousands of dollars. And every person who does group coaching or presenting to groups like I'm doing right now, I recommend to their free training. Isn't that fascinating? So it's because I'm paying that I value and I go and do it. I know that. I know that's why I show up more, because I know how much it costs me every month. I better damn well get my value out of it. I'm part of 3 free Slack communities. I could care less. I don't care. I don't want to go read it. I don't want to post. I'm friends with the person who runs it, and that's about the extent of the value that I receive from it. Would that be different if I paid $500 for those programs? Probably. So evaluate that for yourself. Where do you pay? Where do you not pay? And how much does it cost for you to value something? What's that number for you? Put some numbers in the chat for me. What makes you sit up and pay attention? Gordon, go ahead.
Sorry, another quick thing. Sometimes it's where the pain point is. So people will say to me, oh, and they whine and complain about their life and about what's going on or whatever. And I'm like, clearly it's not bad enough yet. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, if it was bad enough, you'd go and do something about it. It's not bad enough yet. The pain's not big enough yet for you to, the why isn't big enough yet for you to go and do something about it. Because if it was, you'd pay. Sometimes we do this thing where we go, I can't imagine someone's going to pay X amount of dollars, right? Or it's too much or they can't afford to do that. And to get to a point where I go, you know what? If I know that working with Suzanne Taylor is going to get me where I need to go this year and will make me whatever amount, or whatever the goal is, whether it's money or placement or legacy or whatever, if I know that working with you will do that for me, and your fee is way more than I can afford, I will move heaven and hell to find the dollars so that I can, right? But if the pain isn't bad enough yet, I'm not doing it. Those are the type of clients I want. I want the ones that are going to try and find, because that means they're all in. There's not just a little bit of skin in the game. They're 100% vested up to their neck.
Right.
Yes. And, let's look at some of the most impoverished people in the world or in this country buy $300 pairs of sneakers and have $1,000 iPhones. So people find the money for what they want and what they need. ILENE.
No one has more sob stories or hears more sob stories than me, because what do? I help people find jobs. So they're coming to me when they've been unemployed for many months. And I've just heard it all. However, to your point, look at their cell phones. Those are $1,000 cell phones. They have no problem doing it. And it's interesting because I have two price plans. One is that they can work with me one-on-one with the program. The other is that they get the program and I have group coaching. 9 times out of 10, they go for the higher price program. They go for the one-on-one coaching. Does it get them better results? They get good results in both programs. But somehow they came up with the pricing. Now I have pricing plans so this way to make it affordable. And PayPal offers 6 months, no interest, no payments. So I get them employed and then they pay it off on the back end. But usually they're getting on the call with me and some of them are asking, well, can't you work for free and I'll pay you eventually? That never works because then I'm chasing people down and I just don't do that. You've got to pay up front so you have skin in the game. Exactly as you've been talking, Suzanne. There's skin in the game. They're going to do the work. They're going to get the results. But it usually is not about the actual price. It's either are they willing to spend money or not spend money. That's the line.
Very true. Very true. And that's such an interesting ideal client. You know, the person who, and Charley Timmons works with a lot of people like that as well, who are looking for that next thing. Maybe they're not doing anything right now and they're looking for that next thing. So it's an interesting place to be with people. You know, I know when I first started the business coach shingle about 10 years ago, who was attracted to me was typically a very, very new business owner. And I have a huge soft spot in my heart for the new business owner who has no idea what they're doing. And they don't know how to post, they don't know how to meet people, and all of those things. And I couldn't, as a coach, recommend that someone spend $500, $1,000 a month to work with a coach when their business was making zero. To me, that was not a good business recommendation, right? That doesn't make financial sense to me. Now, if somebody came to me and they had money from somewhere else and they said, no, my previous job, I've saved up, I'm going to do this, that's totally different. But ethically, I couldn't recommend spending $1,000 a month to somebody whose business was making nothing. So I needed to find something or some program that I could refer people to who were new business owners to get started. I found that and I started sending people to this $19 program put together by SCORE. I became a SCORE mentor and filtered those beginners into an ethical, reasonable checklist of things to do that would get them started making money. And that felt good to me. That was my value add to those people. So if you have a soft spot somewhere in your heart for that person you used to be, create something that you can easily refer those people to, and you can be that rock star for those people and really save the day. Dorothy.
I've got a question.
Sure.
Do you find that the folks that are so hesitant about paying something, whether they've been in business 5 years or they're just starting, are folks who've never really had that, taken that leap, taken that step? And I ask that because my thought is, if you have a life experience where I held my breath, jumped in and paid that high price and realized, my God, that took me 10 steps up that I never would have gone to, you can be less hesitant to do that next time. And yet, if you've never had that experience, what you're seeing is, my God, I'm spending $500 a month or $1,000 a month, and that's way too much money. Whereas if you've done it in the past, there's an awareness of,
yes,
a lot, and it's scary, but boy, I know that I don't know the person I'm going to be or where my business is going to be, but I know it's going to be great when I'm done.
Yeah, and I think it's twofold to answer your question. I think number one, a lot of people have objections about paying. My favorite comment of all time was, I had no idea that coaching and consulting was going to be that much.
Mm-hmm.
And my response was, but your product and service is double what I'm asking per month. And she says, oh yeah, but I do all of that. So it was a very interesting conversation. So twofold. You know, people have a different perception of what your product and service is. Or number two, they've been burnt.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm super hands-on, all have my phone number, I text them routinely with, don't forget, we're meeting tomorrow and you're going to have this, this, and this done. And I know they appreciate that, but I'm really hands-on. So I think many people have not experienced that. They've paid $10,000 or $20,000 and never talked to the coach. So they've been burned and then they're hesitant to do it again.
Thanks.
So
yeah.
I think they're important questions to ask. When have you invested like this previously?
Mm-hmm.
And what results did you get? That's on my questionnaire when people apply to work with me. What programs have you done before? How much did you spend? And what results did you get? And if you can't take the time to answer, most likely you've been burnt, you didn't get good results, or they didn't do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And my program requires, if you work with me for 3 months, you can't be doing another program. So it's my perfect, oh, I see you've done this program and this program. We can skip over my first month of working with me if you have all that done. Oh no, I didn't do the work in that program. Oh, great. Well, that's a whole nother conversation. So these are really important questions that up-level you as a coach, which I never even realized. I never realized that asking, hey, Dorothy, what programs have you invested in prior to investing in working with me? And by getting that insight, I know where you're at in your business and what your investment level is comfortable at. So it's really an important insight. So especially if you're doing business coaching, mindset coaching, or any kind of consulting in this space, in the entrepreneurial business owner space, really important question to know about your people.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions before I move on to your action steps for today?
Nope.
Charley, go ahead.
My experience is that if you don't charge enough, you're not worth it. And all of us have experienced over the last 5 years the number of people who have decided to become coaches, counselors, consultants, whatever. And many of them can't hold a candle to anybody in this particular group. And what's happened is it's a race to the bottom. They charge less and less and less. And all of a sudden we're measured against what other people have experienced with offers from other people. Well, something like this should only cost $2,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
somebody reacts that way, you have to start incredibly high, because you're saying, but I'm worth it, and they're not. So I think this point you just made is very, very important, Suzanne, is if I don't know, nobody has a line item in their annual budget for coaching. It's not there if they've never done it before. If they've done it before, it's there. They're going to hire Dorothy. They're going to hire Suzanne. They know they need that kind of help. And so what we have to do is establish very quickly a high price. So they're wondering why? Why is that person so expensive? And that creates the intrigue so that we can go in and demonstrate that value. It's a value play is what it is.
Yeah, and I would say I just finished reading Alex Hermosi's book, $100 million offers. And one of the things he said was, just get in the energy of being the highest priced person in the room. And you can charge less than that, but when you're in the energy of being that elevated version of yourself, and that's some personal work to do for sure. But when you're in that energy of that person and you're providing massive value to whoever's in front of you in that moment, whether you're in line at Starbucks, I've met clients at Michael's craft store. I've had a client who was a barista at Starbucks that wanted to start their own business, that, knew my drink order better than my husband. And, so you never know when you're vibrating at that high priced level, whatever that is for you. It could be $500 a month. I don't care what that level is for you. But you go out into the world and you serve people at that level, it's easier to be the most expensive choice in your niche, in your market, than it is to, like Charley said, the race to the bottom. You're constantly giving more free, more bonuses, more this, more that. And that's not what signs up clients. Go ahead, Mike.
Real quick, I believe that I have coached my way out of a sale before on a discovery call, on a business call. I have given people an entire 45-minute keynote during the call. They start talking, I start taking notes. This is it. I've got your opening bang, your free modules, your connectors, your killer close, your offer. And I go, okay, thanks. See you later. Is there such thing as too much?
100%. 100%.
How do you know when I know when I've gone too far, but how do I know when I'm going too far?
Well, I would say whatever you plan on giving on a discovery call, I give coaching sessions away to prospective clients, and I don't call them free. I call them, would you like to experience a coaching session with me? Would you like to have that conversation? And my goal is, by the end of that conversation, the person says, well, that was amazing. How do I hire you? That way I do no sales, which is amazing. And if that person doesn't say that, they are blown away with the value or the action steps that they've written down, and they're reaching out to me later for more action steps. So it's kind of like a dance, and you have to practice. And I would say you have to do 100 of those calls before you figure out what that magic amount of give is. And it might be a little different for each person. So practice, and then some more practice. You're welcome. Okay, so last steps, we're going to wrap up. The ascension model does not work. So if you're going to flip it and do it the other way, here's some things to consider, which I consider to be the most important ways to upgrade what you're doing. So you can upgrade the service that you offer. That could look like more time or different access. So my clients get text access. If they're international, they get WhatsApp access to me. So that goes above and beyond what other one-on-one coaches do. They can send me a voice message whenever they want, get a response back in 12 hours. Assets, increase the assets with your program. Every time I do my accelerator, I add something else to it. The price goes up by $1,000 and I add something else. The next time I offer it, it comes with a complete funnel and a business management system and everything software that you need for your business. It's $1,400 a year worth of software, free for a year. Assets, increase the assets in your program. Increase the experience with you. What do you need to do to increase the experience with you? I worked with Dorothy for more than a year, being with her, working on my own personal shit, my energy, my vibe, so that I can show up more powerfully. And it worked. It worked. When you work on yourself, what experience do those people need to have with you? And whatever skills, tools, or things you need to do, make a list, start working on them. Included items in your product or service. What do they get? What are the included things? You get this, 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 and this. We'll increase that. Make it a no-brainer for your people to say yes. And then takeaways, tangible takeaways. If you don't have tangible takeaways for your client's A to B journey with you, get some. If you need to brainstorm takeaways, schedule a time with me, and I have thousands of ideas in notebooks for takeaways for your clients. And Hank, I'm going to use you as an example. You have a community of people, right? Community people need takeaways. So if you're not introducing people in the community, that could be a takeaway. If you're not teaching them how to introduce each other, that could be a takeaway. If you're not showing them how to go out into the marketplace and talk about your community, that could be a takeaway. So there's tons of takeaways that you can offer that are tangible for people. I like scripts. I like templates. I like Google Drive folders full of 300 email templates. You get it all. I want my people to have that. So whatever that is for you, get more takeaways. And lastly, I want your takeaways from today. I always finish up my meetings with rapid fire takeaways. If there's no questions, I'm going to start going around the room. Any questions on today? All right. Takeaways. Here we go. Jason Croft, takeaway.
I think for me, it's painting that picture of that ideal client. Really get in there, not guessing, but like who was your favorite, and really digging in. And I like that realization you had. It's like, oh, wait a second, I know 15 more of those.
Yeah. Really powerful. Awesome. So ideal client. I'm going to type all these in the chat. So if you want to save these, ideal client clarity. Awesome. Chris Kinney, takeaway.
Takeaways. Have takeaways.
Yeah. Have
That's
takeaways.
that's
Have tangible takeaways.
That's my takeaway.
Such a smart ass. His takeaways. I love it. Gordon, takeaway from today.
Being proud of being the #1 highest charging human being, and then living up to that, right? Sometimes when we promise whatever the big ticket is, sometimes that stretches us. Now I have to show up at that level.
Yes. Love that. Love that. Steve, takeaway.
I like just the twist on the ascension model. It's good food for thought and thinking about, really just standing firm, going for the high ticket, and instead of which I am, and it's working well. So I fully support it. But I'm working with a few coaches that they really struggle with that. So it's really good to hear it from somebody else.
Nice. Well, you know what? This whole journey for me was, I was working with two coaches, a branding coach and a business coach. The branding coach told me not to call myself a eudaimonologist, which that's a whole nother story I can explain another time. And she said, nobody knows what that is. And I said, yes, nobody knows what that is. So they're going to ask me about it. And she said, that's stupid. And I said, you're fired. Then my business coach said, you can't do that. You can't be a coach and a consultant and a mentor and give takeaways, tangible takeaways to your clients. I said, you're done. I have to do that. I can't be anything else. And thank you, Charley, for your help with that, because that was a very confusing time for me. Dorothy, takeaways.
It's just looking at the written takeaways. You know, I generally depends on where they are and what they present with, but yet I can see that there are some universal statements that would actually be really applicable, you know, such as what is that 1 year and 5 year goal, and how do we get them already working at that level when we finish up, and other factors that you've got down here. I thought I do that, but I don't state that. So stating is really good. Thank you for that.
Hey,
You're
Dorothy,
welcome.
Dorothy, is that homework you're giving them? Is that what you're doing?
Well, and during the course of our time together, generally I start, like, the last 3 people I've got, they're people who want to set up franchises. They don't know what kind of franchise. And then the woman who helps people do that said, these folks need a high caliber coach. You're the only one I'm going to refer them to. Help them give clarity. Where do they want to go? What really works for them, rather than just grabbing something? What do they specifically want? What do they specifically need? So it's not just getting them to pick it, but where do they want to be in 1 year and 5 years? They may want to have 2 or 3 in 5 years. They may just want to have 1 expanded. What is their goal? So that's what they're going to be doing with me. So get ready, because I'm not just going to be nice to you.
Yeah. Well, Brendan Bouchard talks in his, I did his high performance habits program a long time ago, and clarity is number 1.
Yeah.
And if you just go to YouTube and search Brendan Bouchard clarity, and there's some steps to entrepreneurship clarity that they're in his book, High Performance Habits, as well. Really, really impactful for clarity on your schedule, on an offer, on people. Really, really helpful. So see what you think about that. And I love the idea of a workbook for clients to come away with for all of those things. And that can even be the tangible takeaway for a lot of us. ILENE, takeaway from today.
I'm going to take it from the macro to the micro.
Ooh, I like it.
Little excitement. Yeah, I have a questionnaire that when they sign up for me, so this way I know where they're at. And you actually, I'm going to add this question today. What programs have you invested in before working with me? Because there's so many things out there, and what I've learned is you kind of get what you pay for. So people will pay $100, and I say, well, how is that working for you right now? And it's not. And they see it, and that's why we're on a sales call to begin with. So thank you for that, Suzanne.
You're welcome.
Absolutely wonderful today.
Yeah, thank you. That really hit home for me with a program that I paid for with a major guru. And after the program, I bought his book, and the whole entire program was in the book. And I was like, God damn it, I could have spent $14.99 instead of 10 grand, right? And that was so eye-opening to me, to know what's out there. And by knowing what my clients have invested in before me, it's so insightful. I think you're going to get some great info.
Thank you.
I also think, Suzanne, that one of the biggies is they invest in these programs and they never really work with a guru. They work with about 12 levels down from the guru, whereas they pay to work with you. They get you.
Yeah.
And that's a dramatic difference, you know.
Right back at you. Right back at you. Harry, takeaway from today.
Yeah, just as my dogs start to bark, I'm going to go with Gordon's line. If they pay more, they will do more. So everything has been great. It's great to see everybody, but I'll go back on mute.
Awesome. Well, Harry's had enough of STK today, I think. Mike O'Neill, takeaway from today.
You've got a knack for bringing together some brilliant people. I'm meeting some of these folks for the first time, and I'm learning from you. Dorothy, you said something a moment ago that caught my attention, and I think you used the word high caliber coach.
Right.
That this franchise person says, I want to pair you with a high caliber. I really want to begin thinking of myself that very way, and that is, I'm worth every penny.
Yeah.
And I need to be prepared to raise my rates as a result. And it's not arrogance, it's just the self-confidence. But if I can carry that, and when I walk into the room, to Gordon, to your point, when you walk into a room, not strutting, but having that self-confidence, it shows and people pick up on that.
Yeah. And I would say that's how I see you, Mike. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Hank, takeaway from today.
This was like a paradigm shift for me, and it came through, names don't stick with me, it came through Gordon, that it's easier to be the most expensive choice in the room than it is to be part of the race to the bottom. I love it. It's going to be words to live by.
Well, if you guys don't follow Gordon. He's pretty cool.
Well,
Plus he's got a great beard.
yeah,
Doesn't he?
that's what I was just thinking. Anybody who has that kind of ZZ Top look has got to be cool.
Oh, the best. All right, who did I miss? Mike, did you give me takeaway? Mike, takeaway.
All right, number one, I'm going to add Alex Hormozy to my reading list. Thank you
Nice.
for that. Also, I love when we talk about takeaways, really is a great takeaway is a takeaway. Looking for socio-emotional demographics. It's the one thing nobody has a chart, but you just know the person that you typically work with. And I love also, I've got a whole lot of notes here, so I'm just still going through everything. You've got to see your own value, and high price creates intrigue. That was great also from Charley, so thanks for that. And
awesome.
Thanks.
All right, Charley, what's your takeaway?
I've been doing this for a while, and I have a storage unit where I have all the old files from my clients, and I'm going to go through those, and I'm going to figure out in 2015 how much was I charging, and I think I'm going to find out that I'm not charging enough. Even though I'll sit there and tell you all to charge more, I ain't doing it, and I have to do it because I want respect. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm working my ass off and I'm doing well, and I know in the long run they're getting incredible value and I didn't charge them enough, guess who I don't like? It's me. And then I'm a pain in the ass at home. I'm not good with my kids, you know. So again, I owe it to myself to, like Mike is saying, based on what Dorothy suggested, I know I'm good. And one of the ways of doing that is, it's like selling a house. If you don't charge a lot for the house, it's not worth it. You can always come down, right? But there's somebody out there that's buying it. So if I have 5 clients at $20,000, right? I don't need 20 clients at $5,000.
Correct.
It's just that simple. I have more freedom to expand and grow and do things differently. So that's what I'm taking away from the meeting. Thank you for doing this, Suzanne.
You're very welcome. And you know,
lifestyle as well as money.
Yes. It's a different, you know, when I started health coaching, I was $65 an hour, and people booked, you know, hours at a time with me, and we would do physical training, mental training, meal planning, a range of services. And there was a point where I decided I'm going to charge for the lifestyle plan. You're going to get all of those things in a package, and you're going to get 3 sessions a week with me, and you're going to spend 6 months with me for $3,000. And I was so busy, I had to outsource it to another trainer. And I was like, what is happening? And it's the package. It's the A to B transformation. It's going to be 6 months, and we're going to do this. And oh, how much weight do you want to lose? You want to lose 50 pounds. Okay, here's the plan to do that. And all of a sudden it kicked in for me that it wasn't about dollar for hour, but I came from healthcare where I had a patient every hour for 40 hours a week. I get paid a certain amount of money. It was, you know, only going to go up by $1 or $2 per year. So I didn't have that autonomy to raise my prices when I was a dental hygienist. So I thought I had to do that in my coaching career. And when I finally realized that it was more about the transformation. You know, what is somebody going to pay to be confident in all of their business systems and what they offer and the way they talk to people, the way they show up on Zoom or the way they show up at an event, how to find events to go to and find your people. Look at how you all ended up in this room together today. It was because I invited you, not a social media post that sold anything, not an event that was posted anywhere. Your relationship with me propelled me to invite you to this. And I'm going to tell you it's for selfish reasons because I want to hear your pain points. You're all my ideal people. And those ideal people have input for me. So guess what? Thank you. Thank you for the input. Thank you for the, you know, the pain points. Thank you for the vulnerability. Thank you for the takeaways. All of that adds to my brain and my value when I go out there in the marketplace. So if you're not doing this with your circle of people, maybe this is an idea for all of you to do something like this and have these conversations with people. Thank you so much, Harry. Thank you, ILENE. Thank you. Thank you. If anybody would like to hop on my calendar for a complimentary coaching session to explore upgrading your offers and your pricing and your network of people, you know how to find me. Reach out. We'll get you scheduled. That's your sales pitch for today. Have a great night.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
Thank you very much. Have a
You're
great
very
night.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Suzanne. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Deal.